Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Legacy Speaks. My name is Sierra Hillsman, licensed professional counselor and wellness strategist. So today we're going to talk a little bit about a concept called life roles, and we're going to explore how these things play a part in our identity. But before we dive right in, I need you to hit that subscription button below. That way you can stay up to date on newly released content on a regular basis. So let's dive right in. Before we even jump into the concept of life roles, let's talk about identity. I find that identity is a key component to our mental and emotional wellness because identity pretty much shapes the way that we view ourselves. And it's a conglomerate of all of our core beliefs, our values, the things that we subscribe to. So I know oftentimes we have these labels based upon our ethnicity, our culture, our professions, our religious connections, things of that nature. And these things help to express who we are in relation to the world around us. I think the cool thing about identity is that it's ever changing and ever growing. And over time, as we continue to experience things as human beings, as we learn to connect with other people, we gain a greater sense of who we are as individuals, but also as individuals, a part of the collective. So if you ever find yourself struggling with your identity, let's take a moment to be able to, one, identify what do you label yourself as, or what do you particularly subscribe to, or let's review some of your history, some of your experiences, and see how those things influence the way that you see yourself. I said this previously before, there are the three selves, which is self-esteem, self-efficacy, and self-image. Self-image is the way that we view ourselves. Self-esteem is the way that we feel about ourselves. And self-efficacy is the way that we view our gifts, talents, and capabilities. And all of these things play a role in our identity. But speaking on the topic of roles, life roles are the positions that we play in our life overall. I know I tried to make it as deep as y'all say I try to make that deep for no reason. It's literally the roles that we operate in, and then the perceived tasks associated with those roles, the perceived responsibilities and duties that we carry out in relation to that role. And it's important for us to identify our life roles because there are so many roles that we operate in that we fail to acknowledge. So, for example, we operate in the role of a sibling if we have a brother or sister or a non-binary individual that we're connected to. We operate as a daughter, a son, a business owner, a manager, a director, a counselor, a whatever. There are so many different life roles that we operate in that are very prominent, but also the ones that we tend to overlook as well, like a dog mom or a cat pa or a plant daddy, whatever it is that you think that role is, a volunteer, a church goer, whatever. There are so many different roles that we operate in and out of, and it's important for us to take some time to identify that. Another thing to consider too is how committed we are to those roles and how those roles influence the way that we see ourselves and the way that we interact with other people. So here's a quick exercise that I do with a number of my clients, especially for those who struggle to relinquish certain roles because they find their identity rooted in a particular role, or they find themselves experiencing some level of stress because they're trying to wear so many different hats at one time. I usually typically do this with clients who are struggling with work-life harmony and are struggling to be able to maintain all of the different plates that they have going on at the same time. So I wanted to share this with you. I hope this is very helpful. If at any point you want to learn more about mental and emotional wellness content, I need you to pause and hit the subscription button below. Please leave a review or hit the comment section and let us know what you want to learn more about mental and emotional wellness. But all right, enough about that. Let's dive into the actual exercise. Hey, lovely, shout out to you because I know mental and emotional wellness is important to you. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. But lean in really quickly because I know sometimes it's really hard to create a plan and actually sticking to it. So let's take your mental health to another level. Ever wonder what keeps you from fully executing? Ever wonder how you can build the confidence for decision making? Well, guess what? You're not alone and I'm here to help. So head over to mentalhealthgoals.com for your free mental health plan. It'll give you practical strategies for addressing your current mental health needs. But first, you got to tap in. So head over to mentalhealthgoals.com to receive your free mental health action plan today. Do it right now. Mentalhealthgoals.com. See you soon. All right, we're about to get these fingers moving. I need you to grab a sheet of paper or maybe even take notes on your phone and create a list of all of the roles that you operate in. I mentioned a couple earlier: mom, dad, brother, sister, employer, employee, manager, director, supervisor, neighbor. All what roles do you carry out on a regular basis? Okay. Next, I need you to choose your top 3 most dominant or most important roles that you operate in. And the reason why we use these things interchangeably, because like I mentioned, the roles that are dominant, these are the things that stand out to you the most. And the ones that are important are the ones that you really value the most. So you can use these terms interchangeably, or you can create separate lists, ones that are most dominant to you, ones that are most important to you. Now, for each one of those 3, write down the roles, responsibilities, tasks, and duties that you find to be associated with that particular role. What are the things that you do on a regular, consistent basis when you are operating in each and every one of those roles individually? All right, y'all, I'm getting excited because we're about to dig into the nitty gritty. Okay, so let me let me readjust myself in my seat. Okay, let's reflect. How many of those tasks and responsibilities actually belong to you? How many of them were placed on you without your permission? And then where did you learn that those particular tasks and responsibilities go hand in hand with that particular role? Now, I also need to ask you, how much of your identity is rooted in that particular role? And what makes it uncomfortable for you to relinquish any of those perceived tasks? Or what makes it uncomfortable for you to relinquish that particular role altogether? Mm. Okay. Now, you don't have to answer all these questions all at once, okay? Take it one step at a time, one bite at a time. The African proverb says, "How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time." So take some of these questions one evening at a time, whatever works for you. But honey, I need you to dig deeper, peel back the layers. And honestly, one of the reasons why I like to dive into these things is because we have a lot of perceived roles and responsibilities. Perceived means that, hey, this is our perception. This is what we view based upon what we learn from other people or based upon what we've seen other people do. All right, I will give you a clear example. When a man prepares to get married, right? There's a belief that they have to be a provider, that they have to pay all of the bills, that they have to do all of the masculine things like cut the grass or maybe even fix the car, things of that nature. These are perceived roles and responsibilities that have been placed on them based upon society or maybe even based upon the family that they're born into. However, when they get married or maybe they start to have a family, some of those perceived roles and responsibilities tend to fall away or begin to shed based upon the communication that they have with their partner. And so these are examples of roles and responsibilities. Another one, right? Hey y'all, it's Sierra. Make sure you head over to shoplegacysbks.com to check out the latest gear. As always, we have the classic therapy is dope, crew neck, as well as tees. And I know the weather is a bit chilly right now, so head over to cop your crew neck today. It comes in heather navy, that cardinal red, as well as that beautiful gold that we love
love to see. So head over to purchase yours, not only for yourself, but also for a friend as well. And we are offering free shipping right now. So head over to shoplegacysbks.com to cop all of your therapy's dope gear and check out all the other additional merch as well.
A teacher. A teacher might feel like their role is to not only create curriculum or also be the guidance counselor or be the hall monitor or to show up in all these different capacities. Maybe that particular role was, or maybe that particular way of viewing that role was molded and shaped based upon the community or the culture of that school, or it might have been shaped by what they saw growing up. Maybe they had a parent who was a teacher and they saw that their parent happened to take on all these roles and responsibilities when they were a teacher. So once again, it's important for us to identify our life roles and determine how much of these life roles are influencing our identity. All right, lovelies, that's all I have for y'all today. Make sure that you hit the subscription button below. Please leave a review in the comment section as well, and refer a friend. Send this episode to a friend that might need it, okay? And if you love this content, imagine the types of content that I share on our weekly newsletter. Head over to mentalhealthgoals.com where you'll receive your weekly action plan. And once again, my name is Sierra Hillsman, licensed professional counselor and wellness strategist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and definitely stay connected via Legacy SBKS on everything. Until next time.